bitch. This hat, I don't know. It's driving me crazy. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take a drink.
Have some water, you deserve it.
Dr. Pepper. Sorry, I'm a cheap date. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a story that's every word of it's true, okay? So you might want to sit down and relax. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I promise every word of this story is true. So in the 1960s, Sonny and I were very famous, and then our career took a nosedive, and we had no job, and we had no money, and we owed the government $278,000, like you do. And so Son said, "You're going to put on a gown, and I'm going to put on a tuxedo, and we're going to play dinner theaters." And I thought that would be cool because, you know, dinner theaters, velvet ropes and limousines and beautiful women. And yet ours wasn't like that. Ours was kind of like hookers and strippers and I don't know what else. It was terrible, really terrible. And our first place was the Elmwood Casino in Windsor, Ontario. Yes. You guys don't live there. All right, but so it was terrible, and we played 2 shows a night, 7 nights a week, and the dinner show wasn't too bad because the people were, you know, eating, and so it would be like kind of eating. Oh my God, they suck, eating. But then the midnight show, when the 4 people showed up, that wasn't good because they hated us. And I always thought that, you know, the drunker they got, the more talented we would seem. But it didn't work that way. So one night I just got pissed off and I turned my back to the audience and I started making the band laugh. And Sonny thought that was hysterical, so we started making each other laugh. And I don't know if you saw the Sonny and Cher show, but... So those monologues came from those strippers and hookers, so, you know. So when Son and I broke up, and that's what I did. I would just make things up, you know, and if it was funny, I would keep it, and like, follow this, you bitches, and that kind of stuff. Yes, one of my best lines. But then one night, I decided that I couldn't come up with anything, so I thought I would tell everyone about the 2 nights it took me to turn 40. So, by Cher. All right, so it's the night of May 19th, and I'm at my favorite club, Heartbreak, yeah, New York, and I was sitting there with my best friend Paulette, and we were sitting on these kind of red leather banquette things, you know, and it has a table in the center, and it's got the high back, and so I was kind of sitting up, perched on the high back like this, kind of like high sailing in town, but not really. But my dress was up to here and my shirt was down to there, and all I could think of was, oh my God, you're 40 and you're still so hot. And that's the truth. I was a superficial kind of 40, but I was just about to do Moonstruck with Nicky Cage. And he was 21, and I looked better. I did. So Polly and I were just sitting there, and we were having a wonderful time, and I was looking around and being happy to be 40 and not turn into some kind of gargoyle at the stroke of midnight. And then I was like, oh my God. So Polly, you guys are gonna figure this out the moment I say it. Polly, don't look now. Don't look now, Paul, but over my right shoulder is the cutest guy I've ever seen. Polly gets off of the banquette, she gets down on the ground and she goes, where, is it that one? Is he the guy? And so I hit her. So anyway, his name was Robert Camilletti, and that's another story. But all night we flirted all night and nothing happened, and I got bored and went home, and I was staying at my friend's hotel my really lovely friend, and he had just gotten out of jail is the short time and prison is the long time. He'd just gotten out of prison. But he was a fabulous guy, and I really loved him, and I think it was tax evasion. Yeah, like you do. And so he owned Studio 54, and anyway, so that night I went to sleep. Yes. So that night I went to sleep dreaming fabulous dreams of being 40, and then in the morning my telephone rang, and there was a man who said, "Hi, Cher," and I said, "Hi." And now, I just don't want you to clap when I say the name of this film, so just promise me you'll just understand and wait. All right, so his name was George Miller, and he was the director of Witches of Eastwick. Well, you guys are never going to be in one of my films. Okay, so he said hi, and I said hi, and he said, "I just wanted to call you and tell you that I don't want you in my movie, and Jack and I, Nicholson, we don't think you're sexy and you're too old." Yeah. Good morning, 40. It was terrible. Tears were streaming down my cheeks, but I didn't want him to know because, well, this was going to be my big break, and they were just like a torrent of these tears. And usually in Hollywood, when someone, when they insult you, they just hang up. But this guy is from Australia, so he just kept going on and on and on. And he said, "I don't like your walk, and I don't like the way you laugh, and I hate the way you talk, and blah, 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 blah." And finally I said, "Look, motherfucker." I don't have a lot of patience. So anyway, I said, "You didn't find me under a rock. I was nominated for Silkwood, and I got a Best Actress in Cannes for Mask, and so, right, so clunk." Anyway, the tears were still streaming down. I was just still upset, and then I was tears and tears and tears, and then I thought, oh my gosh, these are fabulous tears. These are the tears you pray for if you're an actress. They just gently stream down your face. And you don't have to go. I did it once in Moonstruck, where I just had one little tear. Anyway, so I was thinking, these are fabulous. And then I thought, if you do this, you kind of look like a Madonna. Not the blonde one. The real one. So anyway, and then I thought, I'm gonna stop talking to you, you're crazy. And at that moment my kids came in with a big cake and 2 bellboys, and they were singing, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Mom, happy birthday to you." And then they looked at me and they went, "Mom, you're crying. Mom, what's the matter? You're crying." And I said, well, it's like this. Sometimes when ladies are really happy, they cry from happiness. And they went, "Okay." I said, "All right, run around. Go, we'll have the cake later." Okay, shit, I forgot to tell you something. I go here when I've forgotten. It's a little interim thing. So I remember I was staying at my fabulous friend's who'd been in prison at his hotel, but I owed him $28,000 and I didn't have it. There. I have one other thing. All right, this one's gonna seem more strange, but you just have to follow me and trust me, okay? Just trust me, it's gonna sound crazy. All right, so since the beginning of the David Letterman show started, they had always invited me to be on, and I never wanted to. All right, now we can start this thing. All right, so 3 days before my birthday, the David Letterman show called and said, "How would you like to spend your birthday with Dave?" And I said, "I'd love to for $28,000. And they said, "Well, we don't do that." And I said, well, then neither do I. So I hung up, and they called back 20 minutes later, and they said, okay, and I went, cha-ching. But while I was on the phone with the producer, he said, Cher, please, just tell me. I've never wanted to come on, but just tell me why. And I said, well, you know, David's very smart, and he's really funny, but if he doesn't like his guest, he can be kind of an asshole. And he agreed with me, and we hung up. So that night, I went there, looking pretty awful, and he was sitting here, and I was sitting here, and he was being funny, and I was being funny, and he was being funny, and I was being funnier. And then he said to me, Cher, so why haven't you ever wanted to come on my show? And my head exploded, because in those days you couldn't see those words. And so I'm trying to think of what to say, and my head is really going round and round, and if I lie, he'll know I'm lying, and I didn't understand what was going on, and out of my mouth while I'm going through all this shit was, because I thought you were an asshole. I was trying to stuff it back in my mouth, but it wouldn't go. And David said he was traumatized for 5 years. If you knew him, you'd believe it. So, but we became friends, you know, and on my birthday he sends me a card, and last year he sent me this beautiful card. It was kind of not me, but it was like satin roses and butterflies and you know that shit. And then inside he wrote me this lovely sentiment in script, and okay. Script is a thing we used to do. And it can be quite beautiful. And you're never gonna need it. Okay. So at the bottom of this beautiful card, there was a PS, and it said, PS, my mom always liked Sonny better. So I think he's harboring. Anyway, that was then, and I was 40, and this is now, and I'm not. And, yes. I like being 40 better. And I hesitate, I always tell people how old I am, but it just seems so stupid because you don't know why you're applauding. And I think it's either because I'm not dead, or I can still get into my costumes. But I'm 73. I'm going to start this thing, and I just have one question to ask you before I go, and that is, what is your granny doing tonight?